Alex Pereira recently had a truly heartwarming reunion with a fan who beat cancer. The story goes back to about a year ago when Alex was visiting Australia. During his trip, he met a fan who was going through a tough battle with cancer. The fan had already been informed that he would soon lose his hair due to the illness, and in a touching gesture, he asked Alex if he could be the one to shave his head. The fan said, "Would you be able to shave my head? I'm going to lose it, and if anyone shaves it, I'd love it to be you." Alex, who has always been a fighter both inside and outside the ring, agreed to do so, and the moment was captured, leaving many fans emotional. It was a simple yet deeply meaningful act that demonstrated how athletes like Alex can impact people's lives in ways beyond just their performances in the cage. Fast forward to today, and Alex reunited with this same fan who, against all odds, managed to defeat cancer. Alex shared the emotional reunion on his Instagram with a heartfelt message, writing, "I am not an example of how to overcome obstacles as difficult as cancer, but here I bring you an example of someone who overcame cancer." This reunion wasn't just a feel-good moment for them, it was a powerful reminder of the resilience and strength that the human spirit can show in the face of adversity. Seeing someone go through such a tough battle and come out on the other side victorious is truly inspiring. For Alex, this reunion also symbolized the importance of supporting others and spreading positivity even in the toughest of times. It's the kind of story that warms your heart and reminds us all that there is always hope, no matter how challenging the road ahead might seem. Moving on to the second story, Jon Jones appeared extremely intoxicated on Instagram Live. Last night, the UFC star went live on Instagram in the middle of the night, and to many fans' surprise, he seemed to be heavily under the influence. In the stream, Jon said something that immediately caught people off guard and left them shocked. He was heard saying, "You go on a trip and you get pissed off, disappointed, and as a dad, you just want to kill him on a trip. You get pissed off, disappointed. Another dad, you just want to kill him on a trip." These unsettling comments quickly went viral across social media, sparking a flood of reactions from fans, many of whom were deeply concerned about his well-being. The timing of the live stream raised even more eyebrows, as fans assumed Jon might have been preparing for a big fight, potentially with Tom Aspinall. There has been no official announcement regarding a fight between the two, but given Jon's behavior and the assumption that he was in training camp, fans began to speculate about the state of his readiness for competition. Reactions online were swift and varied, with some people commenting, "Drunk as a skunk, this dude needs Jesus," and others saying Jon Jones re-entering his prime, going live in some storm in the middle of the night, slurring words and sounding like he wants to kill someone is never a good thing. But the criticism didn't stop there. Some fans grew even more worried, commenting things like, "Hopefully he's alright and not back to his old self," and "This is creepy, damn Jones off the rails again." It was clear that Jon's actions had left a negative impression, and some were concerned that he may be slipping back into troubling patterns. Many fans even took to social media to argue that anyone who still believes Jon can beat Tom Aspinall is delusional. There was a growing sentiment that Jon's inability to take the fight against Aspinall was perhaps revealing deeper issues. Next up, Jon Jones responds to Alex Pereira. Recently, Alex made it clear that he still hopes for a showdown with Jon Jones in the future. In a recent interview, Alex, who is currently preparing to defend his light heavyweight title against the tough contender Magomed Ankalaev next month, reiterated his desire to face Jon. He said, "I want Jon Jones. It's up to the UFC to make it happen." Alex's words certainly caught the attention of fans and fighters alike, especially considering how much speculation has surrounded a potential fight between the two. Jon, never one to shy away from responding to his rivals, wasted no time in acknowledging Alex's challenge. He reposted Alex's quote on his own Instagram story, accompanied by a ninja emoji. The ninja emoji sparked further conversation, with fans interpreting it as Jon's way of saying that he's ready for the fight, but it would have to be on his terms. Whether it's a playful jab or a genuine response, the post certainly added fuel to the fire of this potential matchup. This has many fans buzzing, as the prospect of a fight between Jon and Alex is incredibly exciting. Jon is widely considered one of the greatest of all time, while Alex has established himself as a dominant force in the division. Both men are known for their elite skill sets, but they have very different fighting styles. Jon's wrestling and strategy have been key to his success, while Alex's striking power, especially his knockout ability, is his biggest weapon. Now, let's move on to the next piece of news. Belal Muhammad is confident that he will beat beat Shavkat Rakhmonov. While the fight is not official just yet, Belal has already made it clear that he believes he can hand Shavkat his first loss and take away his undefeated record. Belal is known for his mental toughness and strategic fighting style, and he's already confident in his ability to overcome the hype surrounding Shavkat. Speaking on the matter, Belal stated, "Shavkat is used to facing opponents who fear him, but I don't share that fear." Belal's words certainly carry weight. He elaborated by saying, "For me, when you're fighting a guy like Shavkat, they put him on this pedestal, like he's this undefeated crazy guy, but I see holes in his game, just like I saw holes in Leon's game." It's clear that Belal is not intimidated by Shavkat's rising star. He even went as far as to say, "I think Leon's a better striker than Shavkat, but mentally, I think Shavkat's a lot stronger. I don't see him breaking mentally." This is a direct challenge to Shavkat's mental toughness, a quality that Belal believes is his greatest strength. One of the biggest points Belal emphasizes is that the toughest test for Shavkat won't be his opponent's physical abilities. It will be someone who is mentally unshaken. Everyone else he fights, they come in there nervous and afraid because they've built him up to be this crazy, unstoppable force. But I'm not like that, Belal explained. "I'm going to be in his face the whole time, pushing him for 5 rounds, and it's going to be the worst case scenario for him." Belal truly believes that Shavkat has never faced a fighter like him, someone who won't back down and who can push a pace that Shavkat hasn't seen before. Next up, Michael Bisping reacts to Dricus Du Plessis' bold call-out of Khamzat Chimaev. On the latest episode of Michael Bisping's podcast, both Bisping and Paul Felder discussed Dricus Du Plessis' recent challenge to Khamzat, expressing admiration for Dricus' courage and ambition. Dricus has made it clear that he wants to fight Khamzat, one of the most dangerous and highly regarded fighters in the division. Bisping and Felder both gave Dricus significant credit for calling out such a tough opponent, acknowledging that it takes a lot of confidence and determination to face a fighter like Khamzat, who is known for his ferocious style and dominance. Bisping pointed out that in Khamzat's position, he wouldn't be so quick to accept the challenge, especially after Khamzat's close encounters with Gilbert Burns and Kamaru Usman. Bisping noted, "If I were in Khamzat's shoes, I wouldn't be so sure about this fight," referring to the fact that Khamzat has had to dig deep in his battles outside of the first round. Khamzat is known for his explosive starts, but after those initial bursts, things seem to get more difficult for him, as shown in his competitive matches with Burns and Usman. Bisping also highlighted Dricus' physicality, emphasizing just how big, strong, and dangerous Dricus is for the middleweight division. He called Dricus one of the largest and most powerful middleweights, noting that he's a real problem for anyone at 185 pounds. Felder agreed, admiring Dricus' mindset and his decision to stay in the middleweight division, rather than chasing easier matchups or looking to move up in weight for a big payday. Dricus is choosing to fight the toughest opponents at his current weight class. You want to step up to 205, not risk your belt, fight Pereira for a gigantic payday, and make millions of dollars in that fight. But Dricus wants Khamzat. He wants the boogeyman, Felder said, referring to Khamzat as a feared figure in the division. Bisping also shared his admiration for Dricus' willingness to challenge one of the most dangerous fighters in the game, stating, "If I'm Khamzat, I wouldn't be quite so sure." With both fighters being big, strong, and mentally tough, this fight could be an epic showdown. Moving on, Belal Muhammad has revealed that he would be willing to vacate the UFC title if Islam Makhachev decides to move up to the welterweight division. The UFC lightweight champion has made no secret of his plans to eventually test himself at 170 pounds, which could create a very interesting situation for the UFC's welterweight gold. Belal, who is currently the UFC welterweight champion, recently sat down for an interview with Barstool Chicago, where he opened up about various aspects of his life, from his time training with the legendary Khabib Nurmagomedov to his thoughts on the future of his career. When the conversation shifted to a potential fight with Islam, Belal was quick to clarify that he would never fight his close friend and training partner. He said, "I would never fight Islam because that's different for both me and him. And we've trained together, we've sweat together, bled together, and trained like that. It's just a different relationship. It wouldn't be about money for me or for him either, I assume." This heartfelt admission from Belal left fans with mixed reactions. Some believe he's simply avoiding the risk of facing his friend, while others speculate that he may genuinely feel that he's not up for the challenge at this point in his career, especially considering that Islam has given him problems in training sessions. To avoid the potential conflict, Bilal stated, "I would rather go up to 185 and let him take 170 if that's the case. I walk around at probably 190 pounds, so making 185 would be no problem for me." He emphasized that he trains with bigger fighters, so moving up to 185 pounds would be relatively easy for him compared to other fighters. The only opponent he feels could pose a serious challenge at 185 is Khamzat Chimaev, though he expressed less concern about other fighters in the division, saying, "Shavkat, Strickland, and Dricus, those guys suck.